Did you know that 80% of viewers remember dialogue more than they remember the plot? That's right. Characters speaking in a way that feels real, sharp, and memorable can make or break a story. In fact, dialogue is often what audiences talk about most after watching a movie or reading a book. But here's the catch: most writers struggle to make their dialogue stand out. It's easy to fall into the trap of sounding flat, unnatural, or, worst of all, boring. So, how do you write freakishly good dialogue that sticks with people? The secret is in the details, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. In this guide, we'll reveal powerful techniques that go beyond simple how-to advice. You'll learn tricks like how to make your character's voice leap off the page, how to use silence to create tension, and even how real-world conversations can teach you more about writing than any book on the craft. Get ready to take your dialogue from ordinary to extraordinary. By the end, you'll know how to craft conversations that feel real, intense, and unforgettable. Ready to transform your storytelling? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Speech that speaks louder than words. Unleashing your character's voice. When you're writing dialogue, it's not just about what the characters are saying, but how they say it. Every character should have a unique voice that reflects their personality, background, and goals. Think about it. If you read a conversation between Sherlock Holmes and a teenager from the suburbs, you'd expect them to sound completely different. Why? Because we all speak differently, and so should your characters. Subtext plays a big role here. People rarely say exactly what they mean in real life. For example, if someone says, "I'm fine," but their voice cracks, what are they really saying? As a writer, it's your job to capture that nuance and allow readers to pick up on what's beneath the surface. Subtext gives your dialogue depth and invites the reader to think critically about what's unsaid. A great way to find your character's voice is to ask, how would they say this? Focus on their education, their social circle, and their emotions. Are they angry? Nervous? Confident? These factors will determine their choice of words and sentence structure. The way a character expresses anger will differ vastly from how they express joy. It's easy to fall into the trap of writing dialogue that sounds like you, the writer. But think about how different characters in real life speak: your best friend, your boss, your grandma. None of them use the same tone or vocabulary. Channeling their voices in your writing will help make each character feel real. Chapter 2: Eavesdrop like a pro. The art of listening for real-life inspiration. One of the best ways to become a great dialogue writer is to listen to real people talk. Eavesdrop, respectfully, on conversations around you. Whether it's at a coffee shop or during a commute, you can pick up little speech patterns, rhythms, and quirks that add authenticity to your writing. Think about how people interrupt each other, finish each other's sentences, or even change the subject mid-sentence. These are the kinds of patterns that happen in real conversations and can add an interesting dynamic to your dialogue. You'll also hear people using slang, local dialects, or even misspelling words while texting. This kind of casual speech might not be proper, but it feels real. And guess what? Real dialogue is often far from perfect. In fact, the more realistic it is, the more engaging it can become for your audience. Don't be afraid of using imperfect language. Even silent moments between characters can be revealing. People don't always speak to convey information, they speak to bond, argue, or vent. That's something you can incorporate into your dialogue to add layers of meaning. And remember, sometimes the pauses between words can speak louder than the words themselves. Chapter 3: Keep it snappy. Crafting fast-paced dialogue that moves your plot. Have you ever read a scene that felt like it was dragging on? Maybe it was full of long-winded monologues or unnecessary explanations. The key to making dialogue move quickly is keeping it short and to the point. Fast-paced dialogue doesn't mean you cut the emotion, it means you condense it. Instead of saying, "I am so incredibly angry right now, I can't believe you did that," try something punchier like, "I can't believe you did that." The emotion comes through, but the pace picks up. A good trick for maintaining pace is to focus on the conflict in the scene. If there's no tension, the dialogue will feel flat. Characters should be arguing, pushing for what they want, or keeping secrets. Conflict keeps things interesting and ensures that every line counts. Look at how Tarantino writes his dialogue: short, sharp, and full of tension. In his movies, characters often say a lot without saying much. That's the secret to fast-paced dialogue. You don't need to spell everything out. Let the tension simmer. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on more tips and tricks for creating mind-blowing dialogue. Chapter 4: Silence is golden. using pauses and beats to add depth. Sometimes the most powerful moments in dialogue aren't the words, but the spaces between them. A simple pause can convey more emotion than a whole paragraph of dialogue. It's in the hesitation, the beat before a character speaks again, where you can reveal their inner thoughts. Pauses in conversation often indicate conflict or unease. Think of the classic TV trope, "I have something to tell you." The pause before revealing the big secret creates suspense. In real life, people don't always speak immediately, they take time to gather their thoughts. Incorporating those natural pauses into your dialogue can make it feel more authentic. Silences can also show a lot about relationships. A couple that doesn't speak for a few moments after a fight can communicate more about their strained connection than words ever could. Use silence to show tension or to give your characters a moment to reflect. For example, in The Great Gatsby, there's a key moment when Gatsby is silent, and that silence speaks volumes. It builds mystery, tension, and curiosity. Embrace the power of silence and don't be afraid to leave some questions unanswered. Chapter 5, The Rule of Three, Mastering Patterns to Make Dialogue Stick. Ever notice how many things come in threes? Blood, sweat, and tears. Live, laugh, love. In dialogue, the rule of three is an incredibly powerful tool. It's a rhythm that feels satisfying and memorable to the ear. The rule of three can be used to reinforce a point, emphasize a joke, or increase tension. For example, a character might repeat a word 3 times for emphasis. "I don't want this. I don't want this. I absolutely don't want this." The repetition heightens the emotion and drives home the feeling. Repetition works because it creates a rhythm in your dialogue. It's almost like music, our brains love patterns, and the rule of three taps into that. It gives your audience something to latch onto, something they can predict and then be surprised by. This technique is not just for tension or humor. It can also work wonders in making information clearer or adding a punch to a punchline. Think about how often comedy writers use the rule of three, how jokes build up and get funnier with each iteration. If you're finding these tips useful, make sure to subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Chapter 6, Playful Provocation, Subverting Expectations with Clever Wordplay. Witty dialogue is more than just jokes, it's about subverting expectations. A well-timed twist or an unexpected turn of phrase can make a conversation unforgettable. Wordplay isn't just about puns, it's about using language in a way that surprises the audience and keeps them engaged. The key here is misdirection. You lead the audience down one path, then suddenly pull them in another direction with a clever line. The unexpected can be hilarious, dramatic, or even heartwarming. It's all about keeping your audience on their toes. A great example of this is the dialogue in The Princess Bride. The characters are constantly subverting the audience's expectations with witty retorts and surprising twists. The dialogue might seem simple at first, but it's layered with depth and cleverness. When writing dialogue, don't be afraid to play with the meanings of words. Characters who use puns or double entendres can create a layer of humor or intrigue. Just make sure it fits the character's personality. A well-crafted pun or unexpected comment can elevate your dialogue from ordinary to extraordinary. And that's a wrap on these game-changing strategies for writing freakishly good dialogue. If you loved these tips and want more storytelling advice, subscribe for fresh content each week. Keep writing, and let those characters talk.